chapter 251, Acacia and his 3 disciples. So the chapter begins with Fhroze, who found Midora from the previous chapter. Midora woke up, but he was still weak. So she offers him the bowl of soup, which was actually totally new to him. Not the soup, actually, no. It was the fact that somebody was actually giving him food when all those years he would just take food from other people. Now, if we get actually narration text a bit more about Midora's past, the only emotion that was ever directed to him was the intent to kill, and because of that, it created this sort of hatred. Especially, he had hatred for everybody since, you know, they had the intent to kill Midora. Then again, could you blame him? Because these guys want to kill him ever since he was a baby. That is still pretty fucked up. I don't care if they're going insane because of the lack of food, but still, feeding babies as livestock to giant pigs, it's still messed up. Jeez, no wonder Midora was like this. So ever since this time, he would always steal from others, but he would never had others give him food. So because of this, it's kind of, he felt shocked for the very first time, and his consciousness was starting to fade. So because of this, he wanted to at least savor the food that he was tasting when he was being fed by Fhroze. Now he started having this dream of other people stealing his food, and apparently he had this dream like every day. But when he woke up, I mean, he was crying. And then when he turned around, he saw Fhroze, who's made all this delicious food for him. Midora actually goes, tries to eat really fast by first grabbing this bowl of soup, but it was apparently too hot for him. And this was the very first time he ever had hot food, because most of the food he always stole was never cooked. Fhroze told him to like slow down and don't rush. And for the very first time, Midora actually was full. So he was never full ever since he was a kid. No, this was actually the first time he ever had this sense of charity or sense of kindness in his entire life. And because of that, the world around him was like better. And Fhroze offered him to stay with her. Because of this, Midora was so happy, and this was the first time he didn't feel like a beast and became more of a human. Ever since he stayed with Fhroze, he never had the dream of people stealing his food, so he was always happy. He lived a happy life with Fhroze. Now, as time went on, I don't know like how much time. It could have been a few weeks, a couple days, I'm not sure, but there was actually a moment when Midora captured this other creature called Flavor Rhino. I have no idea what this is. But then we're introduced to Acacia, Knocking Master Jirou, and Ichiryuu. Yeah, we get to see Jirou and Ichiryuu as they were young, and I thought that was pretty cool. And we also get to see Acacia for the first time as well. Even though Midora has taken a liking to Fhroze, he still hasn't taken a liking to other people. So he, I don't know, I guess because of instinct or something, he starts to attack Knocking Master Jirou first, even though Fhroze tried to stop him, but Knocking Master Jirou used knocking to stop him. You know, come to think of it, this is actually the first time I ever seen Knocking Master Jirou interact with Midora or Ichiryuu. I mean, he always talks about them, but I've never seen him like talk to Ichiryuu or Midora face to face. Like ever. This is actually the first time I've ever seen him interact with them. Even though, yeah, this was back when they were young, over 500 years ago. Ichiryuu and Knocking Master Jirou, they're actually older than Midora. They're basically older brothers to Midora. I guess that explains like why Ichiryuu always called Midora little brother. Now, Acacia actually introduced himself to Midora. And Midora, judging, since he saw the look on his eyes, he knew that it was the same look that Fhroze had, and thus he came up with the conclusion that he was not an enemy. Also, Acacia said that Midora was born with gourmet cells. So is that like similar to Starjun being born with gourmet cells? Or better yet, it was actually gourmet cell genetics. I mean, is that similar? So is Midora going to obtain like characteristics from his intimidation or something? Maybe that's what the scars came from or something? I don't know. I'm just trying to figure this out. So, you know, after that, they managed to go inside the house, have a nice little feast. Ichiryuu is being the elder brother, and Jirou is actually the second son. So they're trying to figure out a name for Midora, who never had a name since he was an orphan. Jirou came up with the conclusion of calling him Saburo, which apparently, according to the text is a common name meaning 3 and sun. Oh, actually, Acacia is the one who named him Midora, because Tora meaning tiger. So yeah, that's how Midora got the name. And Jirou just makes fun of him again, saying that he was totally weak, even if he took down a flavor rhino. So those two start to fight, and they head outside to do that. Ichiryuu is just standing there, just like telling them to cut it out. So yeah, that's basically the majority of the chapter. Midora being introduced to this new family is now being adopted to Fhroze and Acacia. But we do actually get some new information. Well, Acacia, Ichiryuu, and Master Jirou, they're out on their journey. They notice the gourmet war, and apparently it's not stopping anytime soon, sadly. Acacia felt this sort of responsibility that he has to stop this war somehow. And then he said that he heard from Pear, which was weird because that was the name of Acacia's soup dish. And apparently there's a person named Pear. So is this a full course named after people he knew? I mean, is there like somebody called Air, Earth, Atom, Center? Because, yeah, that's kind of weird, but anyway. We actually get some information about the 4 beasts. Yes, the 4 beasts that, Toriko and the rest of the Heavenly Kings fought against in the 4 Beast arc. The 4 beasts, it will appear in a couple of years in the near future. And when that happens, there will be a solar eclipse. Now, the 4 beasts apparently has a connection to the Nitro, because the Nitro wants to use the 4 beasts to kidnap a lot of humans. What the Nitro wants with the humans, I have no idea. Now, I'm not really sure if the Nitros are really the original creators of the 4 beasts, because if they are, then the 4 beasts appeared before, but then again, it was led to believe that Joa was the one that controlled it. Anyway, Acacia goes on to say that he will persuade Pear. Yes, apparently there's a person named Pear. It is the same name as the soup dish that he got. That's weird, okay. Anyway, he was going to try to persuade Pear to make sure that nobody will be sacrificed. And he said that when the solar eclipse occurs, then God will appear. Okay, so we know that Acacia discovered God, but apparently it has been known during Acacia's time. I always thought that Acacia was the one that discovered it and named it God, but apparently not. Acacia said that God will appear when the solar eclipse occurs, and he needs Fhroze's help to cook it, because he wants to stop this war, and in order to do so, he has to head to the farthest land. And that is where the chapter ends. So yeah, that is Toriko chapter 251. What did I think? Oh, the flashback so far is getting really decent, and we actually learn about more about Midora's backstory, and how he got the name, and how he met Fhroze, Acacia, Ichiryuu, and Master Jirou. Seems that they have like some sort of brotherly relationship between him and Jirou. Although I don't know like what the relationship Ichiryuu had with Midora at the moment. That's basically it from the majority of the chapter. It's just them, Midora being introduced to this new family, and that was basically it. I did like how he finally acted like an actual kid when Fhroze introduced herself to him and, gave him all this food. It was actually the first time he ever felt kindness, and to be honest, I feel bad for Midora that he had to go through with this. But then again, we still don't know like how Midora ended up being evil, if he was, introduced to this charity, this kindness towards Fhroze and the others. So something must have happened, probably after God was discovered, because Ichiryuu and Midora fought after 500 years from the other previous flashback, not this flashback, the other flashback they were in. So like something must have happened either during the Gourmet War or after God was discovered and the war ended. Maybe it's probably connected to Fhroze, it could be connected to Acacia, I'm not sure, but I really do want to know like how he became evil in the first place, how he like created the Bishokukai and all that. But in next week's chapter, it says that we're going to learn about more of Acacia's mysteries. It's going to be really revealed. I hope so, because I'm actually interested in how he created his full course. Maybe we'll get to see the 4 beasts again, and maybe we'll get to see Ichiryuu or Midora or Master Jirou fight against it. I hope we actually learn a bit more about the Nitros, because they have some sort of connection towards the 4 beasts, and they're going to use it to capture humans. Not sure why, but I hope that'll be revealed. If we're lucky, we might actually get to see God, since it was hinted to be the one that stopped the Gourmet War. Maybe we'll get to see Acacia's journey. Or I'm still trying to figure out how Fhroze became evil in the first place. That is, if Joa is Fhroze. I wonder how Midora would react if he learned that Joa was Fhroze, or Joa looked like Fhroze. Yeah, overall I thought the chapter was pretty decent. We learned a little bit more of Midora's backstory, and we're being introduced to what looks like the very first time God will appear. And we'll get to learn a bit more of Acacia, and hopefully some more mysteries will be revealed, hopefully in next week's chapter. So overall, I thought the chapter was decent. So yeah, that is Toriko chapter 251. I'm going to spell 27, and I will see you guys later. Bye.